finally premiered on Disney Plus, and I am so hyped. The pilot episode truly felt like a love letter to Star Wars fans, and Jon Favreau managed to create an experience that feels so classically Star Wars. For the first time since the original trilogy, I really felt like I was welcomed back to a galaxy far, far away. Part of what makes The Mandalorian feel so cozy and familiar is all of the Easter eggs peppered throughout, so today we're going to take a look at all of them. I'm Whitney Van Laningham, and this is every Easter egg in Episode 1 of The Mandalorian. Now's a good time to remind you that you should not be watching this video if you haven't seen The Mandalorian yet. I'm going to be dropping spoilers all over the place, so if you don't want to be a casualty, come back to this video after you've watched Episode 1. Now on to Star Wars! Okay, first let's talk about the tech. We have a lot of callbacks to 4, 5, and 6, like in the opening scene, when the Mandalorian blasts the door shield, causing it to violently shut and bisect one of the scummier Cantina patrons. Guess they still haven't invented automatic sensors that'll, not cause your immediate death. Oh, and look, it's that weird security system from Return of the Jedi. Why do they have advanced camera tech, but not something that'll save you from being murdered by a door? We also hear Beskar Steel mentioned several times throughout the episode, first by the thugs in the cantina and then by the client. If you're wondering why the client sounds exactly like Shrimply Pibbles, it's because they're both played by legendary filmmaker Werner Herzog. If you look close, you'll also notice that this character is sporting an Imperial pendant. Guess he's trying to keep the dream of the Death Star alive in his heart. He delivers the perfect little Easter egg within an Easter egg when he tells Mando that he'll reward him for delivering his bounty with a whole Camtono of Beskar Steel. Remember Wilro Hood from Cloud City in Return of the Jedi? The ice cream maker looking thing he's carrying is a Camtono, aka a safe he used to evacuate important objects when he bailed on Bespin. So why is it so important that Mando get a whole safe full of Beskar Steel? For starters, this batch was apparently secured during the Great Purge on Mandalore, as we find out when Mando takes his first installment to a local blacksmith, hoping to add it to his Mandalorian armor. Beskar Steel is most notable for its borderline indestructibility. Like, you can still kill a Mandalorian, but good luck. Their armor can block a direct blaster shot, and some Mandalorians have even escaped lightsaber slashes. Culturally, Beskar Steel is incredibly important to Mandalorians, and I have a feeling we're going to find out exactly why that is later on in the series. One of the main things that sucked me right back into the Outer Rim was watching the scene where Mando and his bounty are trying to find an adequate cruiser to take them to the Mandalorian's Razor Crest. And sure, this speeder has to be pretty different than the one Luke used to ride around Tatooine looking for womp rats to shoot, because this is definitely a snowy planet. But look at it! Doesn't it take you back? At the cantina where Mando meets Greef Karga to gather more bounty pucks, it looks like a few of the patrons are playing Pazak, an ancient card game dating back to the Old Republic. Almost every cantina has a few decks on hand, so this didn't surprise me at all. For some reason, transporting bounties in carbonite has become a normal thing 5 years after the end of ROTJ. Initially used to transport goods off Bespin, Darth Vader proved the process to be harmless after testing it on Han Solo. According to lore, people used to freeze themselves in carbonite for long space journeys before hyperdrives were installed in most ships. The only real risk seems to be hibernation sickness, so I guess keep doing you, bounty hunters. My only real qualm with being frozen in carbonite is that they spray you in the face with those ice cannons and nobody ever ends up making a cute face. Someone needs to invent an Instagram filter for carbonite freezing ASAP. Now that we've gotten my favorite tech Easter eggs out of the way, let's move on to character and creature cameos. Remember Salacious Crumb from Jabba's palace? Yeah, apparently in the aftermath of the Empire's fall, people have taken to roasting and eating Kowakian monkey lizards. Whatever, I am way more cool with eating these asshats than I am with munching down on a porg. Porgs are sweet and they've never done anything to you. Kowakian monkey lizards are total dickbags. I'd eat them. But wait a second, is that Boba Fett lurking in the corner? Fans spotted what looked like a Boba Fett cameo back when the trailer was released, but I'm starting to think that the rumors might be true. What if he did use his rocket pack to blast himself out of that Sarlacc pit and's now roaming the galaxy? I could be wrong, but I really want to believe my boy's not dead. Another character you might recall from the original trilogy is Garandan, the dude who snitched on Luke and Obi-Wan in A New Hope. Looks like Homeboy's back and ready for some more spying and betrayal. Or hailing space Ubers. A gig is a gig, man. Speaking of, it seems like a lot of jobs have died down since the collapse of the Empire. Stormtroopers are working freelance, there's hardly enough bounty pucks to go around, and things are looking a little bleak. Thankfully, the local blacksmith shop is up and running for Mando when he arrives with his newly earned Beskar Steel. First of all, you should always support local businesses. And second of all, did you see that mythosaur skull? You might remember it from Boba Fett's armor, but we also learn in this episode that ancient Mandalorians used to ride them. But despite his ancestors' prowess in the art of the giddy-up, it seems like Mando is struggling to stay on the back of a bucking blurg. Literally. If Disneyland doesn't get one of those for Galaxy's Edge, I'm gonna lose it. Blurgs were first revealed in the 1985 TV movie Ewoks: The Battle for Endor, a sweet little callback for most diehard Star Wars fans. Mando's teacher in the lost art of bareback beast riding is an Ugnaught named Kuiil. We first saw those guys trying to tear 3PO apart on Bespin. We're introduced to a new character named IG-11, a little nod to IG-88 of Empire fame. After the Battle of Hoth, Darth Vader dispatched IG-88 to track the Millennium Falcon. It was a rough one, so IG-88 ended up trailing Boba Fett to Cloud City, where Fett nearly killed him. He must have been a lot sturdier than IG-11, though. Although this droid is arguably one of the best new characters in The Mandalorian, Mando manages to blast a hole straight through his robot brain before he can kill their intended bounty. Which brings me to the best cameo of all, Mando's newest bounty. All we knew about it before this scene was that the bounty is 50 years old and everyone else who has ever tried to secure it has been killed. So obviously it was an adorable surprise when the bounty ended up being a baby Yoda! God damn it, you guys, why can't I adopt one of those and a porg? We don't know the name of Yoda's species or really anything about his past, so it's hard to make predictions about exactly where this little cutie came from. All we know is that there's Yoda, Yaddle from the prequels, and this little sweet potato. I want to kiss his ears! And learn more about his history, because George Lucas has been keeping us in the dark for way too long about Yoda's origin story. It's safe to say that this sweet little muffin is force sensitive, and would probably hate that I'm calling it a sweet little muffin. It's probably more powerful than anything else in the galaxy right now. I think it has to be. Mando is the only bounty hunter who hasn't tried to kill it, and maybe his choice to boop Baby Yoda's snoot is what kept him alive. Last but not least, this final Easter egg is my favorite, besides tiny Baby Yoda. Before getting frozen in carbonite on the Razor Crest, the bounty lets slip that he was really looking forward to attending a Life Day celebration this year. Fans of the Star Wars Christmas special will remember that Life Day is a holiday celebrated by Wookiees and the inhabitants of Kashyyyk every 3 years. It's overall a huge party honoring the planet's diverse ecosystem, as well as the creatures who live on it. Some choose to remember loved ones who have passed on Life Day, while others celebrate new beginnings. It's a really cool holiday, but it's never officially been canon before, and now it finally is! Pretty sure every single Star Wars lover out there is freaking out over this. I know there have to be tons of Easter eggs I missed, so I want you guys to let me know what they are in the comments. Seriously, I could probably watch this 400 times and not get them all, so do your girl a favor and let me know what your favorite callback from The Mandalorian is. Like and subscribe to NerdWire, and happy Life Day!